Live from the Park City Marriott in Park City, Utah, you're listening and watching live coverage of the Big Sky Media Kickoff. I'm John Oglesby. I'm the Media Relations Director over football in the Big Sky Conference. What we're going to be doing this morning, we're going to be joined by a variety of different student athletes as we look forward to the upcoming Big Sky Conference season. Be kicking off on August 29th as Montana hosts defending national champion North Dakota State in Missoula. Very excited about that with the conference, but we're excited to kick off our student athlete interviews this morning with Malcolm Y. Malcolm's one of the great players for Northern Colorado. Hoping to have a great season coming up with the Bears. Malcolm, first off, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So far, how have you enjoyed the experience here in Park City?
It's been a great experience getting to meet the guys. You spend days on Saturdays they're usually your enemies, but you get here in Park City and you get to learn about these guys as the leaders that they are on and off the field, and it's really been a great experience.
That's one of the great things, we talk a lot in the conference office about the family experience with the Big Sky. As part of that, how much from a student-athlete perspective is it kind of nice to get to see different people in different elements than, say, just on the field on Saturday?
Right, it's a big difference for us, We get to meet all the coaches and stuff, and all the guys are really laid back and down to earth, so it's just cool to see them in an environment outside of football.
Yeah, so you obviously, going into your senior season at Northern Colorado, interesting last year, you guys had your struggles. You didn't play in 2013 because of some injuries. This upcoming season, how much does it mean to you getting ready for your senior year?
It's huge for me, and for a lot of guys back home as well. We're trying to get this thing turned around, and the senior group is really looking forward to trying to be the group that does that. So, we've had a lot of guys here in the off season, and we're putting in the work, and we're just excited to get it on the field this year.
How did you feel about spring football specifically?
It went really well. We had a lot of guys step up and do some big things for us. A lot of the younger guys got good reps, and we'll see a lot of new faces on the team this year. But spring ball went really well for us. And like I said, we're just excited to put it all together in the fall and start fall camp up in a couple of weeks.
You were a two-sport athlete in high school. You went to Mullen High School in Denver. Being a great athlete in high school, this is a question I always like to ask athletes because I think it's kind of fun. Being a great athlete in high school, how does that really compare to what it takes to be successful in college, or is it just a massive difference?
It's a pretty big difference. In high school, a lot of the guys here will probably tell you they were the guy in high school.
Yeah.
You come to college and you really look for your own identity, and you gotta tweak a couple things and do things differently the way the coaches want you to do it. It definitely helps, but it's definitely a big transition from high school to college.
So obviously when you left high school, you initially went to Colorado State Pueblo, then ended up at Northern Colorado. Take us through and take the fans through what that process was like, how that transpired.
My story is a bit different. I actually signed to go to CSU Pueblo, and they obviously just won the national championship, so congrats to them. I signed to go there, and I got hurt right before I was supposed to report, so I actually quit football for 2 years, and I came up to UNC just to go to school.
Yeah.
And so I met up with some of my roommates and some of the former players here,
yeah,
and they kind of knew me from high school, and they were like, "Man, you should try out." So as I went to try out my sophomore year and got hurt again right before my sophomore year, so I rehabbed all winter and walked on in the spring, and luckily Coach Collins just put me on a full ride scholarship. So. It's been a long uphill journey, but I'm proud to say that I did it myself, and I'm here now. So
yeah, you're majoring in business. Senior season obviously upon you. What's kind of the plans as you start looking into the future, moving on?
Actually, I just graduated, so
yeah,
that's good. I'm going to be going to grad school right now for sports administration.
Okay.
So I'm just taking it one day at a time and just trying to lay foundation for myself to have a good future.
What is a few more questions here, and then we'll let you get on with the media, the scrum, if you will. What's the game of football mean in your life? I talk to different players, and it's interesting what football means at various points in their life. But as you're ready to play your final season here, what does the game of football mean to Malcolm Y?
I've only started playing football when I was in high school, so
yeah,
I haven't been playing for too long. But I learned a lot playing football about the game of football, and it taught me a lot about life. Sometimes you have your ups, sometimes you have your downs. I met a lot of really cool people. I'm still meeting cool people, and football has been everything for me for the last couple of years. And I'm just glad I had the opportunity to do it.
As a wide receiver, what's your favorite part on game day? What's your favorite part? Is it lining up, looking at a DB? Is it pregame warm-ups? Is it the postgame meal? What's your favorite part of game day?
I think probably the process getting ready for game day is the most fun because, we have fun with ourselves, the team. I'd say the process leading up to game day, and then right before game day, there's something about just being out on the field and, you're warming up and everybody's looking at you, and it's something about game day, the atmosphere, everything about it. But, yeah, probably just lining up across from a DB and knowing that, it's about to be on.
It's about to get on.
All right.
Okay, last question. Not as much a question, but, as we talk to Northern Colorado fans, what do you have to say to the Northern Colorado fan base as we get ready for kickoff here in about 6-7 weeks?
I hope you guys are excited because we're excited to put something good on the field this year. So stay tuned. We're trying to turn this thing around, and we think we're going to do it. So. Okay,
that's Malcolm White, everybody. He's a senior wide receiver for Northern Colorado. Bears excited to get going with the season, Malcolm. Appreciate you stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your time here in Park City. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with another exciting student-athlete interview here. You're watching live streaming of the Big Sky Media Kickoff from Park City, Utah. All right, everybody, welcome back to Park City. We're at the Park City Marriott for the Big Sky Media Kickoff. I'm John Oglesby, once again, the Media Relations Director for football for the Big Sky Conference. We're joined by Aaron Sibley of Portland State. Aaron,
hey, how's it going?
Nice to
meet
have
you,
you
John.
in here. Yeah, so obviously, interacting with different players from different schools here. We're part of a 3-day media event here in Park City. What's the first day of the Big Sky Kickoff been like for you? What's it been like to associate with other players from other teams?
It's been good, just interacting with other players, just seeing how other players from different teams is. We had great conversations. It's a great group of guys that's been up here. You can tell that they're obviously leaders on their teams. They're all good players and everything. So the camaraderie between our conferences is really good. I like it.
Yeah. Obviously, Aaron, a senior defensive back for Portland State. You're obviously from Georgia. Take us through the journey that brought you to the Pacific Northwest.
So coming out of high school, I wasn't really highly recruited. So I actually ended up getting offers from Tennessee State and Georgia State. But I ended up not doing those because, one, I wanted to go to school on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And then, two, my older brother actually went to Tennessee State.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to go there because I wanted to make a name for myself.
Do your own thing.
Right. So Portland State ended up coming out to me later on in the year, like around track season, and I talked to somebody and whatnot, and then from there I got a phone call and they said that they will offer me, and that's pretty much how I ended up out here.
So you've had a good career at Portland State. Obviously last year, 53 tackles. You guys go 3-9 last season, but I thought it was interesting. You lost 4 games by a score or less. What's it going to take you to close the gap and win some of those close games this season?
I think we have to change our mindset. When we get into that fourth quarter, we have to go into shark mode. It has to be straight. Finish your opponent when we're up, and if we're behind, we have to have that mindset to know that we have the ability to come back because we have weapons on our team, and I think that it'll just take everybody being able to focus, have that finish mentality on their minds, and we'll be able to do good this season.
You obviously have an interim head coach, Coach Barnum. What's he like? What do you like about playing for him?
Coach Barnum is different from any other coach I've ever played for. His methods are unorthodox, but they work. So I feel as the team gets behind him, he's a good speaker. He's a good motivator. Like I said, he's a good coach. He's a good friend. So we enjoy playing for him.
You guys open at Washington State, facing off against Pac-12, the Cougars, obviously Coach Mike Leach. What's kind of the atmosphere right now, obviously, with the team? You guys are about to get set for fall camp to start in a few weeks. Mm-hmm. What's the atmosphere? How did spring ball close getting ready for this opener against Washington State?
So everybody's excited to play against Washington State, especially me, since they passed the ball like 60 times.
Yeah. You'll see a lot of action in that game.
Right. So that gives us a lot of opportunities to intercept some balls. But going into Washington State, it'll be a good season opener, especially playing against an FBS team, just to see where we're at right now. Because then we have Idaho State, which is our first conference game, the next game. And they also like to pass the ball. So 2 back-to-back good games for us. But yeah, going into Idaho State, we looking real forward to it. We're looking forward to the competition. We're looking forward to putting FCS teams on the map, and it'll be a good game.
You know, we've talked a lot about Portland State as a team, but I want to talk about you. You know, Malcolm wide receiver with Northern Colorado, was just in here. I asked him, you know, as he's lined up on the ball, what's kind of his thought process. As a DB, when you line up right before the snap, what are the thoughts that are going through your mind?
So, football, everything happens in a split second. So you have to be able to see down and distance where the ball is, the formation, where the receiver is. So while I'm thinking through all that in my mind, we're also getting play calls from our defensive coordinator. And really, it just becomes second nature after a while. After you get to play, it just becomes second nature. We've done it for so long. We've ran through our play calls so many times that it's kind of just like natural movement at that point. So I try not to overthink when I go to play. I try to just do more reaction and more based off movement. So,
Aaron Sibley of Portland State joining me here as we're at the Big Sky Media Kickoff at the Park City Marriott in Park City, Utah. I want to ask you a little bit about you as a person. I thought it was interesting reading through your bio. A couple of things that really interest you, youth leadership and youth ministry. Talk about kind of what sparked your interest in those fields.
I love kids. Kids, they always have a smile on their face. They're always energetic. Yeah. They're always up and about. So that's one thing that I really like about youth, is that I really love kids, just the energy they bring. You can pretty much do anything with them. They're down to play, they're down to read, they're down to pretty much do anything that you bring to the table. So being a part of the youth community, that's a big part of me, because that's I just like kids, so that's just how it is.
Again, Portland State will open the season against Washington State. Before we let Aaron go real quick, what's your message out to the Portland State fan base as we're, again, about 6-7 weeks away from the kickoff of the season? Mm-hmm. What's your message out to the fans here as we get set?
To the fans, we look forward to a good season. We hope to see everybody in the stands and everything. And remember, go Vikes.
Okay, that's Aaron Sibley, everybody, senior cornerback for Portland State University. Best of luck to you. Hope you enjoy the rest of the kickoff. We'll be back in just a moment with more student-athlete interviews here from Park City. We'll take a short break. Back in a moment here at the Park City Marriott for the Big Sky Media Kickoff. Rock and roll. We welcome you back to Park City, everybody, for the Big Sky Media Kickoff. John Oglesby, the Media Relations Director for football for the Big Sky Conference. We're joined by Will Rattel, who's linebacker for the University of North Dakota. He's a senior. Will, thanks so much for stopping by, joining us here for a minute. We're going to we're going to include some fan questions here that we've gotten here to start out. The first question, and this comes from one of your teammates here, Kyle Woodsmall at KWoody97. He wants to start it out. How did you get the nickname Green Lightning? I'm interested to hear this as well.
A couple of my teammates just made it up. It was more as a joke, just kind of making fun of me more than anything. And then it just stuck. Started in the locker room. And I think it probably started this winter, really. And now people just kind of call me that to make fun of me a little bit.
All right, so last year, good season for you. All Big Sky honorable mention at the linebacker spot. Had over 100 tackles as a linebacker last season. Take us through last season, kind of where you felt that you guys finished off the season.
We struggled at the start. We finished strong with 2 wins at the end. We won our last game at Northern Colorado, which was good because it was an away game. It's always good to win a road game. But it was a good season. It was productive overall. It's a new coaching staff. We were all just kind of getting acclimated to how that was going to feel, and now we're all pretty comfortable with each other. I think it'll be a good season this year.
Yeah, Bubba Schweiker, one of my favorite people to interact with for sure. What's it like to play for him?
It's fun. He brings good energy to practice. He brings good energy everywhere he goes. He knows how to pick us all up when we're kind of slacking at practice or we're not having a good day. So he's a fun coach to play for.
It's been interesting. We've asked different people. So far, we've had a wide receiver in. We've had a defensive back in. As a linebacker, pre-snap, those 2-3 seconds right before the snap, what's going through your mind?
I just got to know what I'm reading, because during different defenses, I have to know if I'm reading a guard, if I'm reading a tackle, if I'm reading the running back, or what my other keys are for the play. So pre-snap, there's different things going on in every play.
We remind you, we want to invite fans again. Please tweet in your questions at Big Sky FB, hashtag Big Sky FB. We got another question coming in here from Connor O'Brien. Wants to know, what's the most embarrassing song on your iPod?
TikTok by Kesha.
Ooh,
it's a good song. I like it. So it's embarrassing, but I like listening to it.
Is that just, you know, kind of on your like workout mix? Is that in your pregame mix, or is that
no? It's just something. It's just on there.
Dark corner?
It's just on there, and I actually listen to it quite a bit. So
okay,
yeah,
right there, little Kesha action going for Will Rattel from North Dakota. You know, it's interesting. Big Sky Conference, obviously, so competitive. One of the nice things about this Big Sky Media Kickoff event is you get the opportunity to interact with players from different schools. Last night, obviously, is the first time the players get to bond. Are there any relationships you started there, or players from other schools that you really seem to get along with?
Not really. I mean, we all kind of got comfortable talking to each other.
Yeah.
I like everybody. I think everybody gets along, but no like real relationships started or anything like that. But it was fun meeting everybody last night for the first time.
I want to ask you a little bit about kind of you as a person. You're originally from Minnesota, majoring in kinesiology. What's kind of your future that you see? You're a senior. What's your future that you see with football and maybe even after football?
After I graduate, I want to play football as long as I can. So if that's possible, I want to do that. But I mean, that's kind of a long shot, and can't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
So I want to be a strength and conditioning coach somewhere. So right now I'm actually working with our strength and conditioning coach with the women's basketball team.
Awesome.
So I'm kind of interning with him for that, just kind of learning the ropes of that. So after I graduate, that's kind of what I want to do. Maybe GA somewhere if I can, and then see where that takes me.
See where that takes you. As far as where you're going, we'll talk about your senior season here for North Dakota. A few weeks away from starting fall camp, about 6-7 weeks away from starting the season. What's right now the goals kind of that you and your teammates have as you get ready for your senior season?
Well, obviously we want to win the conference
Yeah.
and then make playoffs and win national championship if we can. But I want to have fun my senior year. I just want to be successful, want the team to be successful. I mean, that's basically it.
You know, you mentioned all those goals, winning a conference title, you know, winning a national championship. Where does that start? Where's the starting blocks that you get going with that?
Starts in the winter in the weight room and meetings, carries on through spring ball, through summer workouts, through fall camp, and then once the season starts, as long as we put the work in during the off season, then we should be good to go.
Linebacker Will Rattel from the University of North Dakota. We'll get you out of here on this, then we'll send you back out into the media scrum, if you will. What's your message to North Dakota fans as you get ready for the season?
Just appreciate all the support. Hopefully we can get it all year.
Okay, that's linebacker, senior for the University of North Dakota, Will Rattel. Will, we appreciate having you on here
Thanks
on
for having me.
live stream. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back in a moment to Park City as we continue the live stream interviews with the student athletes from the Big Sky Media Kickoff. Welcome back to Park City, Utah, everybody. The 2015 Big Sky Media Kickoff here at the Park City Marriott. I'm John Oglesby, joined now by Marcus Alford, wearing number 20, Northern Arizona. He's a cornerback for the Lumberjacks, senior. Marcus, first off, welcome to Park City, my friend. We're excited to have you right here.
Thank you.
Last night, obviously, the first night of the kickoff, great opportunity to bond with some of the other student athletes from some of the other schools. I asked a few players this question, but I want to ask you as well. What's that opportunity like to be able to meet with some of the other people that you'll be competing against throughout the season?
It's very cool. It's nice to talk to guys that are in similar situations, like within their teams as you are, about like things football related and things off the field also. And it also kind of like sparks the competition. So when we play, it'll feel a little bit better now if I can beat these guys.
Yeah, for sure. Last season, you were a first-team All-Big Sky selection again as a cornerback.
Yes, sir.
You guys had a 4-game win streak last season, including an upset over Eastern Washington.
Yes, sir.
Had a few losses, though, at the end of the season last year. They were a little disappointing. Put last season, what did you take from last season as you kind of wrapped it up?
Last season I took from it, on a positive note, is that we can play with anyone, as we showed when we beat Eastern Washington. When we're playing at our best, we feel that we can beat anyone, but we were not consistent enough at all. So taking into this season, we have to be up for every single game, prepare for each opponent the exact same way, and learn from what we went through at the end of last season.
Northern Arizona cornerback Marcus Alford joins us here on the live stream Student Athletes Interview Edition. You know, you talk about that consistency. Where does that come from? Where does that start?
It starts with just like things like being on time to summer workouts, running off the field during spring ball. Just all of our Coach Thompson, our defensive coordinator, always says there's no little things, but just all of like those small like things that you might not think is a big deal, but they actually add up. And like all of our games were close last season, so I mean it always comes down to the wire, and it's like who's more disciplined, who can play up to their competition.
You know, you play for one of the most established coaches in the Big Sky Conference. What's it like playing for that Northern Arizona coaching staff?
Very, very intense. I mean, they have a lot of knowledge. We learn a lot. I'm still learning. I'm a senior, and I'm still learning new things each and every day. They always push you, no matter which guy you are, no matter if you're like a walk-on new to the team, no matter if you're like a guy, like an all-conference guy. The coaches are always pushing you. They're never satisfied. You know what I mean? And so we're always like making each other better.
Last season you had 27 tackles, 3 interceptions as a defensive back. Been asking each player this question just as it interests me as a football fan. First couple seconds, right before the snap, you're lined up, you see a wide receiver on the other side of the neutral zone. What's going through your mind as a DB?
All right, so pre-snap, I'm thinking about my film. I'm thinking about the tendencies that team may have. I'm thinking about which formation it is, what possible routes I could get out of that formation, which guy I'm going up against. Is it a faster guy? Do I have to get out of my pedal a little faster? Is it a bigger guy? I think I have to be more stout. Just play recognition.
Coming from Rio Mesa High School in Oxnard, California, Southern California, we obviously know. Great high school football there, tremendous athletes. How did that prepare you for college football?
I got to go up, whether it was like in a regular season game or like camps I went to, I got to play against like top guys, you know, guys that are playing at big schools, some guys from the Big Sky. The guys that I played with were also very talented, you know what I mean? And I just took like a lot of knowledge from like each person that I was around. And like I was able to come into college very confident because I've already faced like a lot of top guys prior to coming here.
Obviously in Oxnard, that's one of the longtime training grounds for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, sir.
Training camp. Did you get to experience some of the Cowboys training camp at all growing up?
Yes, sir. Like every year, I'll go out and watch them. I'll try to catch a couple practices. They actually have camp coming up, I think, and we get to go home in a couple weeks. We get like a week off, and so I'll try to get out there and check them out and just try to learn.
You know, it's as a player coming up through the ranks growing up, you know, seeing the Cowboys practicing there, was there any player that really stood out to you that you would watch? You say, man, that's a guy I really want to emulate.
When T.O. was there, that was like a big deal, you know what I mean? To actually get to see him practice and see like the best guys in the sport like do what they do, you know what I mean? It's motivating.
So upcoming season, what are some of the goals that you have personally? You're preseason All-America, third team. What are some personal goals that you have, and then what are some goals that the rest of you Lumberjacks have as you get ready for this upcoming season for Northern Arizona?
Okay, so personally, I want to be the best cornerback in the country. I feel that if I play up to my ability and I stay healthy, that I can have a big year individually. I want to make a lot of big plays, you know, put my team in good positions to win games, not only at cornerback but also returning kicks. I didn't get to do that last season because I had to play with a cast on my hand for like half of the season. Yeah. But the year before that, I was able to return one back for a touchdown against Cal Poly, and so I'm excited for that. And as a team, we have high goals. Our first goal is to win the Big Sky Conference. We feel like we've been close. We've been close for like 3 years in a row. We've always been in the hunt towards the end of the year, but now it's just about getting over the hump. You know what I mean? Being consistent each week in and week out. And after winning the Big Sky, then it's a new season, then it's a postseason. And we've gotten our feet wet in the postseason a couple years ago, so now we know what it's like, and so we hope to make a deep run.
Okay, last question, then we'll let you get back to the rest of the media interviews. What is the message you have for Jacks Nation down in Flagstaff? What is the message you have as you get ready for the upcoming season?
Everyone in Lumberjack Country, everyone in Flagstaff, everyone should be very excited for this upcoming season. We have a lot of talent coming back, a lot of starters coming back. Some guys that had the red shirt last season due to injury are back. We have a new offense, so more touchdowns, and that'll also make our defense better, and we can make more plays and stuff on defense. And so you guys should be excited.
Okay, that's cornerback Marcus Alford of Northern Arizona University. Marcus, thanks so much for joining us. Hope you enjoy the rest of the Big Sky kickoff. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back in a moment as we continue the live stream here, the 2015 Big Sky Media Kickoff from Park City, Utah. And we welcome you back here. We are live from Park City, Utah, at the Park City Marriott for the Big Sky Media Kickoff, the 2015 Media Edition. Here we're doing a live stream. Appreciate you fans joining in from all over the country for this. Joined right now by linebacker Darnell Sankey for Sacramento State.
Nice to be
Pleasure
here.
to have you with us.
Nice to be here.
First thing I want to ask you, Darnell, one of the great things about this kickoff, I think, is the players get the opportunity to interact with student athletes, coaches, media, athletic directors from all over the conference. What's that experience been like for you?
It's a great experience. It's a blessing. Definitely to be elected, by a head coach to come out here and represent Sacramento State. Get a chance to meet all the players from all the institutions. And all the future prospects. It's just a great experience.
That's awesome. You talk about being selected by your head coach to be here, your head coach, Jody Sears. Mm-hmm. I always enjoy interacting with Coach Sears, kind of a funny, really a positive, upbeat guy. What's your relationship like with Coach Sears?
Coach Sears is amazing. He's an amazing guy. Came in here and definitely changed the program around. Established a player-led program and covenants and leadership principles and, just went with the flow. Very energetic, man of the word, man of the gospel. He's an amazing man, amazing person.
You guys closed the season last year with 3 straight wins, really kind of seemed to energize the Hornets fan base. What was the atmosphere as you guys closed the season last year?
Just like you said, very energetic, and the atmosphere around Sacramento State was, booming. It's everyone, talking about us, football, and coming out there, one of the last 3 games was amazing. Leave the fans with something to, expect coming to next season, so.
99 tackles for you last season, 7 games where you had 10-plus tackles. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. We've asked this question of every player, and I think it's kind of interesting as a football fan myself, and I think it's interesting for the fans. As a linebacker, what's your mindset? Couple minutes before the snap, you're in your position. What's your mindset as you look across the neutral zone?
Honestly, as a linebacker, you got to just be very smart. You got to know all the plays, know the formations. Call it everything you see, and just be tenacious. I believe, just be a freak out there and just, love to run around and hit some people.
Just get after it.
Yeah,
huh?
just run sideline to sideline and make plays.
The Big Sky Conference, obviously, one of the top FCS conferences, if not the top FCS conference in the country. Mm-hmm. How would you describe football game day in the Big Sky?
Well, every game is for one, every week, any team you play in the conference is going to be a great game. There's no blowouts. Every game's pretty close. All the fan bases are amazing. You go around, see different states, different people, and different atmospheres. So it's just a great experience. Like I said, no game is close. Every game is close.
Yeah.
No game is a real blowout. You got to be ready for every team.
This is something that I think is kind of interesting. You obviously sometimes play as a fullback.
Yeah.
In short yardage situations, we can think of another great player. If you're a football fan who used to do that, one of the top guys that comes to my mind is, William Refrigerator Perry with the Chicago Bears. He used to be a great defensive player and then come over to the other side of the ball and play as a fullback. Guy McIntyre did that in the 80s with the San Francisco 49ers. How do you make that switch mentally from being an offensive player to a defensive player and then from a defensive player to an offensive player?
Well, honestly, it's not really that big of a change. It's because they're both positions where you just go hit somebody. Fullback, just usually lead blocking, or sometimes I get the ball. We had a couple little touchdowns last year, and it's just as a fullback, just got to be in the mindset of just running people over, and just trying to make yards, trying to gain yards for your team, get a first down. Linebacker, you got to stop them. So it's the exact opposite. You know, go down, make a good hit, you know, make a form tackle, you know, and prevent them from gaining yards. So.
As you come up as a defensive player, you know, as you kind of look back at, you know, when you were a younger player, what's some of your advice that you might have for, say, younger players coming up through the college ranks, but even younger players in high school who are hoping to one day be here at this Big Sky Media Kickoff?
Well, I can give some of the advice for high school players is never give up. You know, I was never really highly recruited out of high school. You know, Sacramento State was my only offer. Actually, coming into August, you know, they offered me real late.
Yeah.
You know, and just all throughout high school was training. You know, and trying to get that offer. You know, started training with one of the local JUCOs just for in the summer. You know, because that's where I thought I was going. You know, then eventually got picked up by Sacramento State, and you know, tremendous opportunity to be playing here now. You know, and going up through the college ranks. You know, just. I mean, I can't really explain it. You know, just trying to go out there and just compete every play, all day in practice. You know, every practice has to give you 100%.
Yeah.
100% effort, and you know, just keep going after it.
You're a communications major,
Yeah.
right? I was a comm major, so we got
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Got that in
Yes,
common
sir.
right there. What's your favorite part about communications?
Well, it's learning how to public speak.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
That's the main thing. You know, just freshman and sophomore year, mostly. Not as much now as going to the more higher level classes. You know, it's more of like the science behind it.
The
you know?
theories, yeah.
the theories.
Everybody loves
you know,
that.
Freshman and sophomore year, all you do is speak all class. You know, just speak publicly. You know, so I just believe, you know, this has a tremendous opportunity just to help me going with my future. You know, in interviews like this and conferences and game day and all aspects of life.
One of the great things that I really respect about the collegiate athlete experience, as well as, I mean, here in the Big Sky Conference, we look at not just the great experience, you know, on Saturday here in the conference as a player, but then moving past that, you know, into life as one of our alums. What are you hoping to do specifically with that communications degree?
Oh, well, if football doesn't work out, then I was actually thinking about going to the fire academy.
Okay.
You know, and, becoming a firefighter or possibly Marine Corps officer, OCS. So, those are my two options, you know, and we'll just see where it goes, wherever God willing. So.
Love it, love it. So, obviously with the success that you guys had last season, you know, there's some expectations and some good expectations with the Sacramento State football program. As we get you out of here real quick, we'll send you back to the media scrum, but I want to know what message do you have for Sacramento State fans as you guys get ready for the upcoming season?
We're gonna do what we got to do for y'all out there, fans, you know, and we're definitely gonna come perform, and we need you guys out there for every game. We go to all the other schools. You know, they have tremendous fan base. We have a tremendous fan base as well. You know, but we need everybody, you know, to come support us as we play them big games. You know, and especially our rivalry games too. You know, come UC Davis, Cal Poly. So those are going to be some two great games, and we just expect to see y'all there. You know, we're not going to, success, 7-5, but 7-5 is unacceptable in a sense, you know, because we lost some games. You know, so our goal is to win every game. You know, and that's what we're going to go by.
Okay, I love it. Darnell Sankey, everybody, not only a great player, but just a nice guy, a linebacker for Sac State. Appreciate you coming and stopping by here, the live stream.
yeah.
Best of luck for the upcoming
it.
season. Have some fun as well. Golf tournament coming up today. Can we expect you to be one of the top guys out on the course?
Well, I've had some experience in golf land. You know, I played golf land a couple times in my youth. Hopefully I can just hit the ball. You know, so if I can do that, then it's going to be a successful day.
Okay, well, we hope to hear tonight at the barbecue a full report of how today's proceedings went out at Soldier Hollow Golf Course over in nearby Midway. So that's Darnell Sankey, everybody, linebacker for Sac State. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back with another student-athlete interview as we continue the live stream here. Monday morning, 2015 Big Sky Media Kickoff. Again, appreciate Darnell stopping by. Back in a moment. You're watching the live stream from Park City, Utah.
We play to win, but it's bigger than winning. It's about authenticity, being true to yourself, genuine dreams and a country big enough to fit them, values and hard work, giving your best and giving back. working together, building a tradition bigger than any one of us, and showing the world every day who we are and how we play. We're Big Sky. We are the heart of the American West.
Welcome you back to Park City, Utah, everybody. John Oglesby, Media Relations Director for the Big Sky Conference over football. We're excited to be with you for this 2015 Big Sky kickoff here. Joined by the leader of the Montana State Bobcats, Dakota Prukop. Dakota, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for
we
having
sure
me.
appreciate it as we're doing a live stream interviewing each and every student athlete. Started off last night kind of with each of the players, from every team kind of interacting. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, it's a neat experience, to finally get to meet and hang out with some of the guys without shoulder pads and a helmet on. It's cool when you can talk to some defensive guys and they're not, gnashing at you, trying to get a sack. So it's cool, I got to hang out with Tyrone. I got to hang out with Cooper quite a bit.
Yeah.
Malcolm. So, a bunch of good guys, and it's cool because, when you have kind of the guys they bring here are the guys that kind of have same personality types, ultra competitive, great athletes, and great character dudes.
It was interesting. You became, you got entrenched in that starting quarterback role for Montana State late in fall camp. What was it like, being a starting quarterback in Division I football?
Yeah, it's a treat. It's something you dream of as a kid. As a kid, I was dreaming of being a defensive player. I wanted to be a linebacker like my father, but that didn't work out, and I think I'm faring off pretty well playing quarterback.
So it's interesting. You're the first quarterback to stop by here. We've had it seem, so far with kind of the way it's been, we've had wide receivers, linebackers, and then cornerbacks.
Yeah.
So I've been asking this question of pretty much every player. When you're pre-snap, first couple seconds right before, what's going through your mind? Obviously, as a quarterback, that's one of the most intensive positions there is.
If we were to sit here and talk about everything you have to think about in the 3 seconds before you snap the ball, we'd be here for quite a while. So I can't get into it all, but
we'll give the fans the Reader's Digest.
We'll shoot. First thing I like to look at is just secondary. I like to take a quick peek, scan the field, and then look into the front. See if we got any shifting linebackers. And then you really just got to connect all the dots, and it's kind of like a puzzle each time you get up there. And when you connect it all, you can see a blitz before it comes. And I've been lucky to be behind a veteran offensive line that can pick that up pretty quick. And I'm trying to move myself from the role to be able to help those guys out. And see some of the things they can't see, because when you're up there on the offensive line, it's really hard for them to get a whole scan of the field. And I can see some of the secondary movement. I can see how that correlates with linebackers and blitzing. And so there's a slew of things you got to think about. But the last thing I do right before a snap is take a deep breath. It's something my grandfather taught me in golf. So he's like, my grandfather used to play quarterback, and he's like, quarterback's just like playing golf. You got to take a deep breath before the snap. And I was like, all right, never helped me in golf, but it's helped in quarterback.
We'll get to your personal predictions for the golf tournament that we got coming up today in just a moment. But you talk about that vision you have to have as a quarterback, and you had pretty good vision last year. 18 touchdowns compared against only 6 interceptions. You guys with Montana State and FCS playoff berth. How would you kind of talk about last season? What are things you learned from last season that you carry forward this year?
I learned a lot last season. But it was always funny. We were actually talking about this yesterday with some of the guys, when the game started slowing down for you. It's funny, I was thrown into that first game against Arkansas State, extremely athletic team. And they were firing on all cylinders, especially defensively. And then I went into the next game, and from game 1 to game 2, it was just like a completely different, completely different deal. Arkansas State was fast. It was my first game. I was just seeing red. And then after that, things slowed down real quick. And so I'm excited to come into this season, knowing what to expect. I'm with a veteran offensive group. We really didn't lose anybody, and it's going to be fun.
Dakota Prukop, starting quarterback for Montana State University. Cats Nation up there. So I want to ask about that because, I've been fortunate enough in my job and to be able to interact with some Cats fans up there. How would you describe the Montana State fan base?
that was one of the big decisions and, big kind of, shiny things when recruiting rolls around, but the fan base at Montana State is unreal. It's, one of the few places in, FCS football you can walk around the street and, people know who you are and it's cool and they all show up for game day and it's a football town, it's a Bobcat town, blue and gold, they bleed it and it's truly a blessing to be able to play for a fan base like that.
It's interesting because with that, obviously there's a lot of fun. With that, you walk down the street, people know who you are, but there's also a little bit of pressure, some expectations with that. When you walk down the street and people know, hey, that's starting quarterback of the Cats right there. How do you balance that? How do you balance that and use that as a motivator instead of something that can be a little bit too much pressure?
Yeah, exactly like you said, it's a motivator. When especially during summer conditioning, I can remember specific times. We're doing sprints or something. You're tired, you're dog tired, you don't want to do anything more. And then you're just thinking like, man, there's a lot of people that will be up in these stands, pretty soon. And it's cool, it helps fuel the fire. And, we got a great fan base. We don't want to let them down, and we want to produce for them.
So just want to get your thoughts here. Cat Grizz. How do you describe that rivalry in just a few short words?
Yeah, I've watched Cat Grizz the last 3 years. Didn't have an opportunity to play last year due to a late season injury. So I have 3 seasons of preparation already for these guys, and I haven't got to use it yet. I can't wait. When we're in summer workouts, if you want to get the guys fired up, you yell out Eastern Washington, you yell out Cal Poly, or you yell out the Grizz. So we got some teams on our radar, but one thing Coach Ash always preaches, take it game by game, and that's kind of a thing. Through college football, everyone kind of realizes that now. You can't overlook people, can't underestimate them, and we're just going to take it game by game. But when that week rolls around, I'll say it first. I'm excited. I'm excited for Cat Grizz, and I can't wait for them to come to our place.
Something certainly to look forward to throughout the season for all of us in the Big Sky Conference. I want to get your thoughts as. You talked about it earlier. You come from a football family. Your dad played college football. You've had uncles play college football. Your grandpa played at USC, no doubt. I mean, what's that like, being just another member of a football legacy that is your family?
Yeah, it's cool, especially at family reunions. And, my brother's playing down at Colorado School of Mines now. And, he played for Stitt last year, actually. But it's cool. Family reunions are fun. There's a lot of talking, and but it's cool. Things I've inherited from it is just kind of a love for the game.
Yeah,
that's really what I've benefited from it. And since a kid, hearing my dad and all his brothers and my grandfather talk about their football stories and stuff, that's what I always used to listen to. And so it's something I'm kind of living now, and I can appreciate it, and it's it's a blessing.
Coming off, as we'll get you out of here in just a moment. Coming off that playoff berth, again, there are those expectations for this Montana State team. You guys obviously expect to be one of the top teams in the Big Sky Conference. What are the major goals that you guys have as a season at Montana State?
Yeah, no, at Montana State we expect to be the top team in the conference, and I think we have the firepower to do it. We have the coaching staff to do it. But it comes down to the little things. It comes down to discipline. It's a game of inches. And so there's a lot of great teams, a lot of firepower, a lot of great coaching staffs. So it's a team that's going to do the little things right that are going to add up to be number one.
Okay, we got a couple questions left. One kind of serious, one kind of fun. We'll start out, what's your message to what I know is a very active Montana State fan base as we get ready for the season in 6-7 weeks?
Well, I think, the Montana State fan base knows what we expect of ourselves. But, we got a group of guys that's going to lay everything on the line for our goals this year. And so, they can expect a lot, and I'm sure, they'll get a lot in return, but I look forward to seeing them out at the games. Okay, last question here. How well are you going to do against all the other players in today's golf tournament? I've had a few golf lessons this last week from my roommate, Brandon Brown. So first time I really kind of dialed in on some golf, and I used it as an excuse to get out and play, so it was fun. But I have no idea how the other guys are, but I'd assume that I'm going to fare pretty well. So we'll see.
Okay, like the confidence. That's Dakota Prukop, starting quarterback for the Montana State Bobcats right there. We're going to continue in just a moment as we continue from Park City with more student-athlete interviews on this live stream. Again, that's Dakota Prukop, starting quarterback. I'm John Oglesby, back in a moment from Park City, Utah. All right, we're back here in Park City, Utah. John Oglesby, Big Sky Media Relations Director for football. We're joined by James Kauser, defensive end for Southern Utah, one of the more, I don't know, I always enjoy talking to you. You're just a great guy, great representative for the conference. What's this been like for you? You were obviously here last year, but what's this Big Sky Media kickoff been like for you this season?
I love it. It's so fun meeting the guys and like seeing that they're actual human beings and they're not just someone I have to hate on Saturdays. It's fun meeting everybody, spending time with them. Get to go golfing with just people that you get to meet people that you see around, but you don't really get to know, and I really appreciate that. And it makes the games more fun too.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So let's dive into, obviously, last season for you guys, playoff team in 2014.
Yep.
Bit of disappointment that last year kind of take a little bit of a step back. How would you describe last season for Southern Utah?
Very disappointing. I think you said a bit of a disappointment. It was very disappointing. It was hard. I mean, we're really competitive out there, and it was tough dropping off like that, especially as a defensive player. I mean, our defense kind of fell off a little bit, but we're looking to get back. We're working hard in the offseason. We're putting in the time, and we're ready to get back to the winning.
Yeah. You're obviously a preseason All-American this season. You've been successful many a year in the Big Sky Conference. What do you kind of look at as your role on your team, in the conference, even nationally?
I think first, I've always felt like, it's interesting, as a freshman, when I came in, I was always the vocal leader. Like, they just needed me to be that guy to kind of get after people, but I've changed. I'm not as vocal as I was. I don't have to yell at people, but still a leadership role. I think I got to do things the right way, and people will follow. And I don't know, that's the way I see life. Like, if you work hard, if you do things the right way, success will come. And that's who I want to be, and that's who I want to be seen as,
It's interesting because Southern Utah now pretty established in the Big Sky Conference, continuing to kind of gain more respect, gain more notoriety as a member of the Big Sky Conference. But how would you describe how the Southern Utah contingent views yourselves as a member of the Big Sky?
We're still fighting for that respect. We still feel like we are better than what people see us as, But I mean, I'm sure that's how every team feels, you know. But we believe in ourselves. We're highly competitive guys out there. And we're just looking to win games and show what we can do. We can play football.
Absolutely. 3-9 last season. Did have two big wins, though, come over a couple of your rivals, Weber State and Northern Arizona. You obviously grew up, 10 minutes from Stewart Stadium, the Weber State campus. How would you describe how you view, Weber State as a rival?
As a rival. It's interesting coming right from there, in their words, right from their back door. That's what they always taught to me during the recruiting process. But I mean, I got so many friends. A lot of friends go there. I got a lot of family around there. So it's a big game. I get a lot of people that I know come out to that game always, and they're always talking about that game. So it's just a little added pressure, but I always love it.
It's interesting too because you played for pretty proud high school tradition there in Northern Utah, Davis High School. How would you describe kind of your background as a high school player, preparing you to be a good college player?
An athlete. I was a little out of position. My 2 years, I was a 210-pound nose tackle, 3-tech. So that's a little rough. But I mean, I made it work. Davis High is also a big-time basketball school. And so I got to play basketball, and I think that helped a ton. So I think it's just preparing me as an athlete for anything that I face now.
It's interesting. You and I talked a little bit last night. You're in a grad program for communications. Where do you kind of see yourself after football using that degree and using your time at Southern Utah as a student?
Shoot. That's the good question. I don't know. I thought I had a direction, but things change. Right now I'm looking at research. That sort of aspect about studying human behavior, how people work, publishing articles, trying to do that kind of stuff. Maybe a little bit of teaching. Probably not a little teaching, but it's an option.
It's interesting you talk about that because Darnell Sankey with Sac State, he's a comm major as an undergrad. He talked about how, he enjoys the speaking aspect.
For real?
The public, he really enjoyed the public atmosphere a little bit more, whereas you
a little behind the scenes.
You enjoy the research a little more. That's interesting. So we're talking with James Kauser, defensive end, one of the team leaders for Southern Utah University. The T-Birds got a good season coming up.
That's right.
Some good games on the schedule. You got a Friday night game at Weber State. They got a good game, an FBS game at Utah State that'll be exciting for people down there and exciting for us in the conference. I want to get your thoughts. Where do you guys go this upcoming season?
Hopefully only up.
Yeah.
We didn't win too many games last year. I don't know. I believe we got a chance at the conference championship. I honestly do. I really do. With the way that our offenses come together. Last year we got a new offensive coordinator, Jerry Croton.
Yeah.
We had a couple quarterbacks. We didn't really know what we were doing there. So it took the offense a little bit of time to get rolling. And then we've shored up some holes. The defense, we're a lot more deep. I think we got a chance. I mean, I'm sure everybody says that, but we really do got a shot.
But you're feeling good about it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to shoot high.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
Why not? You're at media day. Why not just throw it out there?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all. So we got a couple more questions, and then we'll let you go. First question I want to ask you. We've asked a lot of different players this. We've had a lot of, we've had linebackers, we've had quarterbacks, we've had wideouts, we've had DBs. Ask about thought process in that 2 seconds before the snap when you look across the neutral zone at opposing players. What's your mindset as a D end?
As a DN, I read it. I read an article from a pro player, and he summed it up really well. The way I think it's like the thinking is done. Like as soon as everyone comes out, that's what I'm.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm looking where everyone is, so I get my alignment right. Looking at how they're aligned, know what my assignment is, and then you got to turn the brain off. It's all right. This is what I do. This is what I do. Get my hand down. Just go. I can't. You don't think. You just got to react.
Just got to react. James Kauser joining us here at the Big Sky Media kickoff here. We've got a couple more questions left. We've got kind of a serious one, and then we'll do a fun one kind of to finish it off.
Let's go.
We'll go with the serious first. Your message to the Thunderbird Nation, your message to the T-Bird fan base as we're, again, about 6-7 weeks away from kickoff of the season.
Expect big things. Expect us to be competitive in every game. I mean, you can never guarantee a win. You can never do that. But expect us to come out and be competitive every game. Give ourselves a chance to win.
Okay. Now to the fun question. How well are you going to do today in the golf tournament against the other players?
Oh, all right, here's my goal. It's the scramble, right?
Yeah, we got to scramble.
Have the team take my ball once. That's my goal. That's my goal. I don't got to go.
Just once. Talk about setting that bar high.
I can smack the ball, but it won't go straight.
All right. You heard it right there. Expect more things on the field than on the links this season upcoming for James Kauser. But always a good pleasure to sit down.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it so much. That's James Kauser, Southern Utah University DN. Looking forward to big things upcoming this season for the T-Birds. We'll be back in just a moment, continuing this parade of student-athlete interviews on the live stream. Back in a moment to Park City, Utah, watching the Big Sky Media kickoff. All right, we welcome you back to Park City, Utah here, the 2015 Big Sky Media Kickoff. John Oglesby, the Media Relations Director for football in the Big Sky Conference. We're joined right now by Xavier Finney of Idaho State, one of their star running backs. First off, Xavier, pleasure to sit down with you. Appreciate you giving us a few minutes of your time.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure or honor being here.
You know, I want to start it off, I want to start this interview off, Idaho State. You know, I think it would be fair to say that Idaho State not always looked at as a conference favorite, but I just want to throw a few things out at you. Ranked 13th in the preseason in the country by the Sporting News, ranked in the upper half of the conference for expectations this upcoming season. What's the feeling like in Pocatello when you guys walk around the streets talking about Idaho State football?
Oh man, it's an honor, you know, to be a part of a program that, you know, has been changed. You know, we had our downs, but now we're going through our ups, and it's amazing. You know, it's a truly honor to be a part of a program like this, and I'm blessed.
You know, it's interesting talking with a couple different coaches, a couple different players around the conference last night. Your name and the Idaho State program consistently gets mentioned as a program and as a name that people have to watch out for. What are those expectations like Is it pressure? Is it good pressure? Is it a little nervous? What is that like?
I think it's good pressure, and not necessarily pressure, but just wanting to do better than you have before.
Yeah.
So always wanting to improve and to make sure that you're working hard. You're doing all the right things in the off season, not only in the off season but also during the season. So it's just important to make sure that you stay dedicated to your team and dedicated to yourself.
First team all conference last year. You rushed last year 259 times. That was a school record. Close to 1,500 yards. That was another school record. How would you kind of assess the season last year, not only for yourself but for your team?
I think we had a great season last year. It didn't finish the way we wanted to, but we got to look at the positives. And I think we had a wonderful season. We had a great team, great offense, great defense. And it was a pleasure playing with those guys, playing next to those guys every week.
I want to ask you this. We've asked a few different players this question, kind of what's it like to play for their head coaches, but Mike Kramer, what's it like to play for him?
Oh, Michael Kramer is a wonderful coach. I love playing for Coach Kramer. He's a wonderful guy, teaches us a lot of things, and not only about football, but about life as well. I think that's really important as a coach to teach your players.
Awesome. So continuing on from there, you originally coming from Oceanside, California.
Yes, sir.
Kind of a warm, nice area.
Absolutely.
You go to Pocatello, not quite as warm, a little bit more mountainous. How was that adjustment like for you when you first showed up?
Oh man, it was crazy. My first year there, the snow was crazy. I definitely hadn't seen snow ever. So that was my first time seeing snow, living in it. And it's an experience. It's something I always remembered. I'm not too much of a fan of coldness, so it was different, but it was a great experience. I love being at Idaho State, and I love the area.
I think it was interesting because you always talk about different expectations, different goals. I know that a goal for the Idaho State team, Idaho State coaches, and even the fan base for a long time has been to play well against the rest of the conference, but to play well against rival Weber State. What was it like to finish the season last year with a win over the Wildcats?
Oh man, it was great. It was a great feeling in the locker room. It was a great feeling at halftime. We really wanted to get after it and finish the season with a bang. We had plans on going to the playoffs. So we wanted to make sure that we ended the season with a win and with 0 losses at home, and we did that. It was a wonderful feeling.
Absolutely. So this is a question we've asked a lot of players, but I, as a kind of a football nerd, find it interesting. We've had a mixture. We've had linebackers, we've had DBs,
Absolutely.
we've had DNs, we've had a quarterback. But as a running back, pre-snap, looking across the neutral zone, what's your thought process?
My thought process is, my first read, first cover lineman. So I'm always looking at that first, and then, right after that is to the second level. So once I get past the first level, it's second level. Stay downhill. Get as many yards as you can. Make sure you're always getting positive yards, and that's what I'm looking forward to every time I run the ball.
How much pressure is there on just getting those first couple steps right?
It's not too much pressure. I feel like we do a great job in practicing though. It's muscle memory pretty much, and so it's not too much pressure at all.
Want to continue things forward, kind of looking at the future for Idaho State football. This upcoming season. Was talking to your radio guy earlier, talking with your head coach last night. What's the feeling? Where do you guys go?
I think we go up from here. We finished the season last year wonderful, 8-4.
Yeah.
It was a great season, but that's not good enough. We want to finish out on top. We want to be Big Sky Championship winners, and we want to win a national championship, and that's the goal for this season.
Okay, setting it high. So with that goal in mind, giving each player a chance to do this, but what's your message out to Bengals fan base as you get ready for the season opener in a few weeks?
My message out is come out and support. We're an exciting team. We make great plays. It's fun to watch us, and you're gonna have fun if you come to the game. So absolutely come out to Holden Arena. Grab a couple of hot dogs, whatever you need to do to watch the game, enjoy the game, and come support our Bengals. Go Bengals.
Okay, we'll close it off on this. What's your expectations in the golf tournament today? Student athletes.
Oh man, I'm not too good at golf, but I'm looking forward to going out there and giving it a couple swings and see how I do.
Prukop from Montana State feels that he's going to be one of the favorites. Do you have a comment on that?
I think I'll finish out on top of him, so we'll see. We'll see.
Right, we'll have to let all you fans know how that finishes off. But Xavier, it's been a real pleasure to sit down with you. Best of luck this upcoming season.
Thank you so much.
The Bengals.
Go Bengals.
All right, that's Xavier Finney of Idaho State joining us here just a couple moments on the live stream for the Big Sky Conference. We'll be back in just a moment. We'll take a short break and continue forward. You're listening to live coverage of the 2015 Big Sky Media Kickoff from Park City. Back in a moment. And we welcome you back to Park City, everybody. John Oglesby, Media Relations Director for the Big Sky Conference, along with Chris Brown, Senior Quarterback for Cal Poly. Chris, great to be with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
Real exciting. First off, we've kind of started it out fun with everybody, each of the players. You and I were talking about before we got going. You like chocolate-covered raisins. I'm a fan as well. Talk about how that love got started.
Yeah, well, actually, I started in freshman year of high school.
Okay.
And there was this guy named Blake Ailes, and he played for our football team at Orange Lutheran before I transferred to Dominguez. And his girlfriend was an actress, and she said that eating chocolate-covered raisins helped her calm down. So my first high school game, I had a box, and I felt great. I've never stopped till then. So every time before a game, like the night before, I'll have chocolate-covered raisins right before I go to sleep, and then the day of, like lunch or breakfast, I have another box.
Full box.
Yeah, full box.
Are we talking big?
I'm talking a full size box. If they don't have a box, then I'll get a bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you know right there, chocolate-covered raisins.
Yes, sir.
Okay, breakfast of champions. You guys, it was interesting. You had a pretty good season last year. Winning record, had some highlights, but it was a mixed effort for sure. How would you describe last season for Cal Poly?
It was tough. We had some ups and downs and some bumps and some bruises, obviously. But it's nothing that we can do about it right now. The only thing that we can do is focus on the season ahead and the schedule that we have, and obviously going into Missoula and playing Montana the first game.
Obviously, with Cal Poly, you guys are your famed, option attack. Mm-hmm. You not only rushed for 1,000 yards last season, you passed for 1,000 yards. As a quarterback, how are the two different?
Our offense, obviously, we run.
Yeah.
That's what we do. And Coach Tuatelli, offensive coordinator, does a tremendous job at reminding us each week who we are. So when we finally get a chance to step out of our comfort zone and start throwing the ball, we're prepared for it because we've prepared all throughout the week. And, it's not really no difference as far as our approach. It's just, going out and accomplishing each play, at its highest ability.
Absolutely. So it was interesting, you look at this upcoming season and you had a foot injury that kept you out on a spring ball. How's the recovery been like from that?
I'm feeling great. Our trainers at Cal Poly has done a great job, and our coaches as well has monitored me since the end of the season. So it's been a lot of trust and an understanding more throughout our program, and I'm feeling healthy and I'm ready to go.
You're a senior, obviously, in this program. You've played a few years under Coach Tim Walsh. How would you describe Coach to the fans out there watching on the live stream?
Yeah, Coach Walsh is exciting. He's exciting, and I'm blessed to have played for him for these past 4 to 5 years, and he's really encouraging, and I get surprised every time I talk to him.
Yeah.
Because I always hear his name, randomly throughout the college, portion of my life,
Yeah.
So I'm happy that I got a chance to play for him, and I'm more excited to play for him this year.
All right. So I want to ask you something. Obviously preparing for this, reading through everybody's bio, and I found it interesting. You have a nonprofit organization that focuses on helping former athletes with disabilities. How did that come about? I find that fascinating.
Right. Well, I was, talking about it to my family, and that's something that I wanted to do was help people. My dad's a minister, and that's what he talks to us about, if you're not helping anybody, like, what are you doing? So I wanted to try to figure out a way to, help athletes, those that have, lost their scholarships at certain schools and, and hasn't had the opportunity to continue their schooling. And I wanted to give them a chance to continue their efforts. So right now it's still in the works, and I have a lot of stuff that I'm trying to get accomplished as far as, finances and whatnot. But when I'm through with ball, hopefully I get a chance to, focus a lot of my time on it.
Okay, so you're from Southern California, obviously. Big fan of the LA area myself.
Sir.
Favorite SoCal pro sports team? Dodgers, Lakers,
I'm a
Kings?
Laker fan all the way.
Okay.
Laker fan all the way, and I'm a Dodgers fan, and as well as the Kings.
Okay.
Yes.
I was a big Vince Scully fan.
Okay.
Growing up, big Dodger fan. So,
all right.
So we got that in common for sure.
Yeah.
Besides the Raisins, we got a couple things
Right.
for sure. I want to ask you. We've asked each athlete this question, and I'm kind of a football nerd, so I find it interesting.
Okay.
What's it like when you look across the line of scrimmage in those first couple minutes before the snaps? We had Dakota Prukop on earlier, and he's a quarterback, but he's not an option quarterback, and it's a little bit different when you're an option quarterback. What's those first couple seconds before the snap? What's going through your mind in those moments?
Well, we've all been coached to, approach it differently.
Yeah.
But me, myself, I try to immediately slow it down because everyone doesn't play us the same. They don't play their schemes that they play everyone else, So I try to, locate and try to understand what am I getting, what type of front am I getting, what are they showing me, what type of changes are they making throughout my cadence, and trying to communicate it to my guys and understand, who's blocking who and which way we're going. So that's really what I try to focus on when it comes to the running part. And when it comes to the passing portion, I immediately, the moment that I see them line up, I know what we're getting just because we've practiced it and we understand it. So I do a lot of study. So I really focus on that. And once they make an adjustment, we adjust. And Coach Tortelli, like I said, and Coach Wood, our quarterback coach, has worked with me closely to understand, when it's time to get out of certain plays and when you got to stick with it. And if it's too late, then go.
Okay, a couple more questions here, then we'll let you go.
Sure.
I want to start out first. What's your message and what's the feelings that you have towards all the Cal Poly fans out there? What's your message toward them as we get ready for the upcoming season?
Yeah, my message would be to continue coming out to the games, and we love your support, and there's nothing that we love more than you guys coming out there during our tailgates and showing us a lot of love and being loud in the stands. So definitely to keep coming out and showing us the support.
Okay, final question here. We got the golf tournament coming up for the student athletes, for the media, and for the coaches. We've had some student athletes really say like, "Hey, I'm going to come out there and I'm going to do well," and others are like, "Yeah, we'll just we'll go out there, we'll see how it goes." What's your feelings about that?
Well, for the past 4 to 5 weeks, I've been getting prepared for this.
Okay, I like it.
I've been getting about 90 balls a day, 3 days out the week. So, and when you go out there, you got some guys that actually they golf. So I try to talk to them. They shoot me some pointers, and hopefully I go out there and at least compete to a level to where I'm not the worst guy out there. So I'm excited. I think I should do well.
Well, all the people with the Big Sky Conference, I think we're excited, not only for your competition today, but for your competition for the upcoming season. This is quarterback for Cal Poly, Chris Brown, joining us here with the live stream. We appreciate it. Good luck this upcoming season.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to take a short break, then we'll come back in just a moment from Park City, Utah, as we continue with the 2015 Big Sky Media Kickoff. Back in a moment, live from Park City.
We play to win, but it's bigger than winning. It's about authenticity, being true to yourself, genuine dreams and a country big enough to fit them, values and hard work, giving your best and giving back, working together, building a tradition bigger than any one of us, and showing the world every day who we are and how we play. We're Big Sky. We are the heart of the American West.
And we welcome you back to Park City, everybody. John Oglesby, Media Relations Director for the Big Sky Conference, along with Parker Smith, offensive lineman.
What's up, man?
For UC Davis. Aggie Nation, we're happy to have him in the hot seat here as we continue with the live stream as the 2015 Big Sky Media Kickoff continues. First off, Parker, it's interesting. We talk a lot in the conference office about how this event's a lot of fun for us because we get to see you guys mix with athletes and coaches and athletic directors from a lot of different schools. But what's that like for the players? Do you enjoy it?
It's been nothing but great so far. I mean, there's always people that you see on film and you go, oh, I know, 44, I know 10, or I know so-and-so.
Yeah.
But now to finally put a face and a person behind that player, it's pretty cool. And, they represent all their schools well, and we all hang out, and instantly there's that bond through football that we're all pretty good friends already. And I hope to stay in touch with a couple of them, see them after the games, and go from there.
Oh, that's awesome. We love to hear that. So you're definitely a pretty unique person, majoring in managerial economics. Kind of what sparked that?
Well, I was a failed engineer, believe it or not. I tried to go through the computer science route. It was really interesting and I liked it, but managerial economics was something I enjoyed, math and science, but I really enjoyed math, and through those classes I can still do that. And then all of the stuff that I've learned, emphasis on management especially, it's just very real world applicable. So like everything I learned in class, I'd be like, oh, I can watch something on the news or read a newspaper and something's going on. So I immediately, that was the best switch for me that I made. So I've loved it since then.
Yeah, it's interesting, going back to football for a minute, you guys 2-9 last season. You did get a big victory over in-state rival Cal Poly, but how did spring football go? How do you guys feel as we finish up summer, get ready for fall camp?
It was rough off of that 2-9 season. We came back that winter and we diagnosed and dissected all the things that we didn't like about last year, and then once we learned from it, we put it behind us. So we just kind of it's almost like it didn't happen to us, unfortunately. Yeah. But spring ball was exciting, and one of the big questions I think was how are we going to bounce back, and is everybody going to still be energetic about it? And it was phenomenal. Everybody was flying around. It was a good time. So nothing but optimism for this season. Looking to go 9-2 instead of 2-9.
I like it. What's it like playing for your coach, Coach Gold?
Coach G is an awesome guy, man. He's just so into it. Very intense. Ever since he got here, he let us know that intensity was going to be an important thing to him, but also the mental aspect. One of his mottos is focus on the process. We had bands made and everything, but it's just a day-to-day phrase just to keep you on track. And I mean, we love playing for him. He gets fired up, and that raspy voice, he gets going, and all the guys imitate it. But when you hear that voice, you recognize it immediately. So it's been fun.
That's awesome. It's interesting. We read, I'm prepping for this. I've read through everybody's bio, and a couple things stood out to me. Number one, I'm a big stand-up comedy guy. Mm-hmm. I've done it. I've done stand-up myself.
Okay.
Obviously
cool.
not well because I'm here instead of out doing that. I'm happy to be here though. But Richard Pryor, how did you get introduced to the stand-up works of Richard Pryor?
I just remember watching Blazing Saddles was one of my favorite movies. I mean, obviously it's not politically correct, but that was kind of the fun part about it. And he said a lot of. He was the writer behind it.
Yeah.
And with YouTube, I just was like, oh, that guy wrote it. All right, I'm going to check it out. And then all of his stand-up's there, and it's golden. I mean, he speaks the truth on a lot of issues that a lot of people didn't talk about back then. But I mean, it just, at the end of the day, super funny. So
yeah, I mean, he really was a trailblazer. No doubt about that. Another thing I wanted to ask, so you're an offensive lineman. You list Anthony Munoz as your sports hero, obviously very successful O-lineman with the Cincinnati Bengals, at the University of Southern California. What I find interesting, not a lot of O-linemen, even O-linemen rarely list O-linemen as their sports heroes. How did that come about?
One of the great things about, I watch the NFL Network probably more than any human being should, and I just remember they always showed his highlights, and again, through YouTube, you can look it up, and one of the things that he always talked about that I kind of pride myself in is conditioning. Yeah. And he would run, I think it was something like 5 miles during a game week just to make sure he was in good shape. And that was something I picked up in the off season. Not running 5 because that's a little much for me, but just getting that endurance in, because I want to be as good as I am on my first play as I am on my last play. So that's just something that I really took pride in, and he was just sound fundamentally. So that was something that I just really liked.
So I myself am a big NFL Network, NFL Films guy. Anthony, I remember, kind of held out his hands, and there's a couple fingers there that it didn't necessarily look like. I don't want to put you on the spot.
Well, no, I've got one, but
Okay.
it's not too bad.
No, okay. Let's not do anything else to it. So that's awesome. It's interesting. We've asked each and every player kind of, what they think about in the couple seconds before the snap as they look across the neutral zone. We've asked D linemen about it, but I want to hear the perspective of an offensive lineman. What do you think about in those first couple seconds before the snap?
Well, when I was playing center, it's very cerebral because I had to know when we checked the ball and if we were going to check the ball, so I had to make sure everybody's on the same page and know where we're going.
Yeah.
But at tackle or any other position, a big thing for me is just, especially on plays where it's 3rd and 6 and I'm blocking their best guy on the edge, you just got to have that moment where you're like, all right, I can block this guy. Don't worry about it. Or through like weeks of preparation, I'll be like, all right, this guy's got 2 moves. He's either going to go inside or he's going to ball rush. So you kind of just, right before you're looking at the guy and you're like, all right, this is what he's going to do. You've been trained for this. You can handle it. So that's kind of what I think about.
Okay, last question, then we'll let you get out of here. Your message kind of to Aggie Nation, UC Davis fans.
Message, 2-9 to 9-2. Look for good things this year. We're going to be underdogs in every game that we play, and we like that. Look for good things.
Okay. Parker Smith, everybody, offensive lineman for UC Davis. Looking forward to good things upcoming from him with the Big Sky Conference. We're going to take a short break, then we'll come back in a moment. We'll continue with student-athlete interviews here on the live stream at the 2015 Big Sky Conference Media Kickoff. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Park City. John Oglesby, Media Relations Director for the Big Sky Conference. We're joined by Cooper Kupp, wide receiver and kick returner for Eastern Washington. Eastern Washington been successful the past couple of years, looking to stay that way. I want to start out with that. You guys are really the hunted in the conference, been an elite team in the conference for a long time. How do you deal with that?
Well, we embrace it. I think it's a good thing. You have, you're going to get everyone's best, on Saturday, and so going into that week, you got to go in and know, we need to have a good week every day. You need to bring your best because we need to make sure we put our best product out there every week, and because of that, I think we're a better team.
Absolutely. You've pretty much since the moment you stepped on the Eastern Washington campus, you've been an elite guy. You won the Jerry Rice Award in 2013. What was it like to win that award and maybe to interact with him a little bit?
It was really cool, actually. That was a great honor, obviously. I know this league has a ton of great football players. Unfortunately, fortunately, we were still playing, so I didn't get to go to the ceremony. But my parents actually made the trip over there and got to meet Jerry Rice. And I was sitting at my desk. I was doing homework on my desk and got a FaceTime, and Jerry Rice's face popped up on my phone.
Wow.
Like, oh, hey. That's it's kind of a cool little thing. We'll talk with him a little bit, and that's something I'll never forget.
Yeah, you don't. I FaceTime and I see like my parents or my friends. I rarely look up and NFL Hall of Famer. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that's kind of interesting. So you've had a lot of interesting things happen to you throughout your career. You've been super successful. We've talked about that, but you got married a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
How has that even changed your life in the last month, and how do you see that changing your life throughout the season?
Yeah, man, it's been such a blessing. I'd say more than anything, she's my biggest supporter. I think having someone that's working towards this, that wants you, that's helping you and understands the goals you're working for and has the same goals for you. I just think, more hands make light work, and she's been incredible. We've only been married for a month now, but already it's I've just seen, in terms of my focus towards this year, towards what I'm working towards, and I guess what we're working towards, has improved because, I got her behind me.
Having somebody there definitely makes a big difference. There's no doubt about that. So, another unique thing, I'm reading through your bio, and I do that for everybody, but the fact that you've worked at the Manning Passing Academy, what's that entire experience been like?
That's been incredible. I've been working down there. I've just finished my 3rd year, and go down there and be able to first of all, just help out. I mean, they have 1,250 kids come out down to this thing, which is incredible. Be able to help those kids out from all over. I think they had 48 states represented, which is really cool. And above that, and the next thing is that I get to work out with some of not only just the best in college, but some of the best in the NFL.
Yeah. And
catch passes from these guys, see how they prepare, and just interact with them a little bit. And it's an experience. It's 4 days that you remember for a while.
No doubt about that. So, upcoming goals for you guys this season. How do you continue to try and improve?
Yeah, I mean, goals stay the same. Y'all obviously there have been some changes, but the goals are still the same. They're and we still have that. You set it as high as you can. National championships the goal every year, and it goes all the way back. Big Sky championship. You want to be undefeated through Big Sky. You want to be able to win those non-conference games and grind all the way through fall camp. And that's when it starts. August 10th, first day of camp or whenever check-in is, and we want to make sure day to day we're grinding through that thing. And our goals haven't changed. And the guys understand that, and we've had maybe the best summer since I've been at Eastern, in terms of the turnout, in terms of the team as a whole coming together, and the guys are ready to go. And I think you'd ask anyone on our team, and we're hungry for this year.
Absolutely. So, last question, then we'll let you get out of here. Your message kind of to the Eastern Washington fans as you get ready for fall camp.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to Eastern Washington, I mean, we're excited about this year. Nothing's changed. We're moving forward, and I think through this fall camp, figuring out how we're going to put these points up on the board, and at the end of the day, we're going to do it. On the offensive side, we've got a defense that's has had more energy now than I've ever seen before, and I'm excited to see the product we can put out there on Saturday.
Well, all of us with the Big Sky Conference are excited to see how you guys fare this season. Cooper, thanks so much. We appreciate you stopping by. It's Cooper Kupp, everybody, wide receiver for Eastern Washington University. We're going to take a short break, then we'll be back in just a moment. We'll continue with the live stream from the 2015 Big Sky Media Kickoff. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Park City Marriott, beautiful Park City, Utah, the 2015 Big Sky Media Kickoff. We're excited to be joined here by Montana's Tyrone Holmes. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Getting towards the end of the media scrum, but it's always a cool opportunity to be able to sit down with you and address the fans, and also just to learn a little bit more about you. So I want to get your thoughts real quick just on what last season meant to you in your career, and also what it meant to you for the rest of the team.
Well, last year we did decent. I mean, not good by Montana standards. So, this whole offseason we've just been working to get back to where Montana has been in the past. And so, that's kind of the whole motivation, is we want to win a national championship. So, that's the whole goal. And, I think our record was 9-6 or 9-5, and that's just not good enough for our fan base and what Montana should be at. So.
What's it like now working with Bob State? He comes from D2 Colorado School of Mines. Now he's with Division I with your program. What's he been like to work with?
No, it's been awesome. You can tell the guy knows a ton about football, and he has a lot of experience. He's won. He's at the same place for 15 years, and he had a ton of success. So it's awesome to have a guy like that has had so much success come in and show us, what we should be doing. And he's made a lot of changes and that's good, because obviously we weren't successful as we wanted to be last year, so change is good, and I'm excited about this upcoming season.
All day throughout the live stream, we've been taking questions from people who have been tweeting in, and please feel free to do that not only today but also tomorrow at Big Sky FB, as well as hashtag Big Sky FB. Take a question from, just kind of an average, normal guy. Brock Coyle. Don't know if anybody's heard of him.
He's not very good.
He's with the Seattle Seahawks organization. He wanted to know what you feel like your relationship is like with him, the Cardinals' Zach Wangerman, as well as Miami's Jordan Tripp, and how's that made a difference on your career?
Some of those guys are some of my best friends. It's been awesome for me to come in as a freshman and have those guys to look up to and see what their work ethic was like, what it's going to take to be a great player in this league. And they kind of took me under their wing and I mean, I was able to like work out with them in the summers and go do extra workouts and just see what it takes to be a good player. And so that's been awesome. And especially with Zach, I mean, we play the same position. So, I mean, be able to bounce ideas off with him and see what's working, what's not. I mean, I feel like that's been a huge help for me in my career.
Absolutely. You know, the Big Sky, we've talked about it all day today with a lot of different players, but competitive conference. Puts a lot of people in the NFL and in CFL, a lot of different successful players. How do you prepare yourself to kind of be one of those people who's been successful in the conference?
I think it's just that mentality of coming to work every day, and I feel like that's what those older guys have showed me is like, it doesn't matter what you did yesterday, you got to prove it again today. And I mean, it's just that blue collar mentality of coming to work, and I feel like that's really what Montana has been built on, and I feel like that's what it's going to continue to be. So,
awesome. As we move forward from here, what are your immediate goals for this season for you individually? Talking about you.
Individually, I mean, I have pretty high goals for myself. I mean, I want to be a 14 sack plus guy, and I mean, I want to compete. I want to be defensive player of the year. I mean, that's my goal. I want to be that. So I just know, I mean, every day I've worked for that, and I mean, that's what I'm working towards, so yeah.
Okay, we'll get you out of here in just a second, but real quick before we do, giving each player kind of an opportunity to do this, but what's your message as you address Grizzlies fans coming up as we're getting about 6-7 weeks away from that season opener, the Big Sky kickoff, August 29th against North Dakota State. It'll be live on ESPN. What's your message to fans as you prepare for that?
Grizz Nation is going to be ready and excited for a high-flying offense, one that's going to put up a lot of points, and then a defense that's going to fly around and hit people and hold opposing offenses to minimal gain. So I feel like that's what they have to look forward to. And we're going to get back to where Montana used to be, and we're going to compete for a national championship and hopefully win the Big Sky Conference. So that's our goal. So.
Okay, all right. That's Tyrone Holmes with the University of Montana. Appreciate you joining us. We'll be back in just a moment as we continue here from the 2015 Big Sky Media Kickoff. The live stream continues. Just a moment, so stay with us.
We play to win, but it's bigger than winning. It's about authenticity, being true to yourself, genuine dreams and a country big enough to fit them. Values and hard work, giving your best and giving back. Working together, building a tradition bigger than any one of us, and showing the world every day who we are and how we play. We're Big Sky. We are the heart of the American West.
And we welcome everybody back to Park City for the final, last but certainly not least interview of today's, the opening day of the 2015 Big Sky Media Kickoff. We're joined by Weber State's Joe Hawkins. Joe, first off, thanks for sitting down, spending a couple minutes with us. Want to ask you, Weber for the past couple years is had so many changes, but you have Jay Hill, who seemed like such a kind of a consistent, stabilizing force. How would you describe Coach Hill's impact on the program and what he's like to deal with?
I'll say he's brought excitement, a lot of excitement back to the game. For a lot of people, he's also brought back the love to the game. So we as the players, we can't wait for the season to start.
It's interesting being around Weber State this spring, seeing how players last year in spring were just trying to kind of figure out what he wants, his expectations. This year it seemed like guys were more aggressive, quicker, moving to the ball quicker. Was that just me seeing that, or is that pretty accurate?
No, that is accurate. I mean, because last year that was his first year coaching us. We didn't really know anything about him. So when it came to practice, we didn't know how he wanted us to practice. So as it came to this spring ball, people knew what he wanted, so we just gave it to him. We flying around to the ball, 100% every play, stuff like that.
Awesome. You guys opened the season last year. You opened at Arizona State. This year you opened up in the Pacific Northwest with Oregon State. What's the mindset this year as you open for that?
Mindset right now is to do everything we can in the summer to prepare for ourselves for the first game, and then just go just play the next game after that.
Absolutely. You know, it's interesting. We've asked this question of a lot of athletes, so a lot of the student athletes today, kind of their mindset as the 2 or 3 seconds before the snap. And I mean, we've had every position. It seems like we've had a lot of linebackers, a lot of DBs, a lot of wide receivers. But as a center, what's your mindset, or as an offensive lineman, even in general? What's your mindset as you prepare those last 2 or 3 seconds before the snap?
Well, I know a lot of people, they'll try to get excited, try to get pumped up. I try to calm myself down as much as I can, because on the O-line you got to be, specific with your steps.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get all jittery excited and jump out and take a wrong step and get beat across my face. So 2 or 3 seconds before the snap, I'm just calming myself down, trying to be clear my mind, know what I'm supposed to do, go over what I'm supposed to do, and just when the ball snaps, just do it.
You're from Vero Beach, Florida. How big a difference is it from Florida to Ogden, Utah?
There's a big difference, climate-wise. Way
higher
colder.
Up.
Yeah, a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, not much.
It's it's very dry out here. Back home, humidity. It's a big thing. Get out the shower and you're sweating already. But yeah, I would say those are the biggest changes. Just climate and the different culture, I guess.
Is it easier to play in a climate in Florida or out here? Is it easier on your body? Is it harder on your body?
I say it's what you're used to, what you grew up to. Because at first, when I first came out here, it was hard for me to play out here, just with the altitude and everything.
Yeah.
And then when I played my first snow game, my freshman year, it was I had to get used to playing in that type of cold weather. But I say it mostly depends on what you grew up in.
Awesome. So real quick, we'll kind of close it up here, but we've given everybody a chance to do this and definitely want to give you to do the same. What's your message for Wildcat Nation as you get ready for this 2015 season?
Don't sleep on us. And this is going to be an exciting year.
Okay, we're looking forward to it definitely with the conference. Joe, appreciate catching up with you. Always a great opportunity. Look forward to seeing what's upcoming for you and for the rest of the Wildcats throughout the rest of the season. That's going to do it for us here today from Park City, the 2015 Big Sky Media Kickoff. Day 1 comes to a close as we finish up player interviews. We invite you to join us tomorrow as we interview each and every coach for the Big Sky Conference. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at BigSkyFB. Use hashtag BigSkyFB. We also invite you to turn to your local schools as well as your local media outlets for more coverage. That's going to do it from Park City. For all of us with the Big Sky Conference, I'm John Oglesby saying goodbye, everybody.
We play to win, but it's bigger than winning. It's about authenticity, being true to yourself, genuine dreams and a country big enough to fit them, values and hard work, giving your best and giving back. Working together, building a tradition bigger than any one of us, and showing the world every day who we are and how we play. We're Big Sky. We are the heart of the American West.